Today I'm solving check if all characters have equal number of occurrences. Given a string s, we have to return the Boolean value true if it's a good string. Otherwise, we have to return false. A good string is a string where all the characters have the same number of occurrences. So here we have S, AB, AC, BC. You see that A appears twice, B appears twice, and then C also appears twice. So this is a good string. We would have to return true. Here we have to return false because A appears 3 times and B appears twice. So this is my solution in C++. I'm going to use the common technique for character counting in programming, which is to have an array of integers. All the values are set to 0 and the size of the array is 256. We intend to store the occurrences for all the characters inside of the string s. Remember that when we are dealing with ASCII values for characters in programming, we are talking about values from 65 for capital A all the way to 90 for capital Z. And then we can also have 97 for lowercase a all the way to 122 for lowercase z. In the solution, our array has values from 0 to 255, and the indices are going to correspond to the decimal value of the characters. If at some point we find capital A, we're going to have index 65 inside of our array, and we're going to increment the value for the index 65 by 1, meaning that we found one occurrence for the character A. And if we find it again, then we're going to increment it once again. So this is the logic I just explained. We're going to loop through the string s, and at every iteration, we're going to grab the character and then use its ASCII decimal value to increment the value for its occurrences by 1 inside of this array. Once we're done, we're going to create a variable called val. We're going to set it to 0. Now we're going to have this for loop. We're going to loop from the value 0 all the way to 255, being an included value in the range. And the first time we encounter a non-zero value, we're going to assign it to this val variable. So at first, val is 0, meaning that when we loop through our string, anywhere from index 65 all the way to index 90, for example, we expect to have some non-zero values if the string contained uppercase letters. So if you look here, they say that S consists of lowercase English letters. So we're not going to have any value from 65 to 90 for this LeetCode challenge specifically. Instead, we're going to have anywhere from 97 all the way to 122. And if the string was not empty, one of the values in there is going to be a non-zero value. If you check this here, they have 97 for lowercase a. So I could say loop anywhere from 97 all the way to 122, being an inclusive value. So I could say less than 123. And at every iteration, I'm going to check if we have a non-zero value. If we do, then we assign that value to the val variable if val is still 0. Then we can also have this if condition. It's an else if condition. And we check here if the value that we had at first for this val variable, the first time we recorded a non-zero value, if that value is different from the current occurrence that we have inside of this for loop, then it means that we have a wrong string. We don't have a proper string as what they expect here because the number of occurrences is different. So if that's the case, then we have to return false. Otherwise, if this for loop terminated properly, then we can return true because all the occurrences were consistent. So now let's run this code here. We passed both sample test cases. I'm going to submit this now. And we've passed everything with 6 milliseconds, which is not bad. So that's it for check if all characters have equal number of occurrences. This was LeetCode in C++. If you like my coding tutorials, please subscribe and I'll catch you next time.